I work with grassroots community organisations who want to bring people together to form good relationships that sustain them throughout everyday life. And actually, in bringing people together, sometimes at that kind of connecting people to each other, starting of conversation is a really difficult place to be. So actually we have used a number of creative arts kind of ways of doing that, just very ordinary stuff, having knitting for people to do, or a creative piece of work to get their hands busy, so it creates a really nice alongside kind of feeling that people can then, through doing, start to talk and start those new conversations.
So I've been involved in arts and health projects now for about 6 years. My background is museums and galleries. When I went freelance, I was approached to be involved in the arts forums, and so there was a Connecting Communities project, and that's where my first kind of embarkation on arts on prescription. I know it wasn't officially coined that, but we were doing an element of social prescribing with Connecting Communities, finding out who the assets in the local communities were, engaging people who were marginalised, who had any kind of problem really, and if arts could kind of help them, bring communities together, etc., etc. And I was really inspired by that. After doing a bit of freelance work with the Arts Forums, I worked for Birmingham LGBT Centre, which was funded as a health and wellbeing centre. And I was there as a heritage officer, working with young people, but doing one-to-one support as well.
Right, my initial experience is that it saved my life. Before it became, a fancy thing to do, and everybody recognised that arts was something that helps you. In 2010 I had a baby, and I'd been working in the arts for the last 15 years up until then, as an arts producer and that sort of stuff. Anyway, I had a baby. I found myself at home all by myself, and I felt so isolated, and there was just nothing around for me to do. So I started going to, I think it was at the time, it was the last of the Sure Start. I started going there, and I started speaking to lots of people, saying, what would you do, or what do you do? Do you know about arts? And they'd go, what's the arts? Because I come from Nechells. And I asked them what would they take part in this, that, the other, and I'd do some little stuff on poems and go, you ever thought about writing a letter to yourself? In doing that and creating my own little arts things, it literally saved my life.
Okay, so my experience ranges from primary age children from 3 to 4 years old up to adults in the over 55s group as well. So initially I did therapeutic art in schools for 6 years alongside of teaching. I am a practicing artist as well, so I've done different community groups, cultural community groups like art therapies with Somalian women, refugees, dual language speakers, over 50s, and then mental health participants.